Pisces, how you doing? So Steve's going to flop his deck out just like he has been for every other sign, and everyone's seen it. So we might as well get it out, flop them on the table and let you guys know what you're dealing with. So how you doing, Pisces? So we've obviously got to get your deck out and we're going to have a look to see what information that you may be requiring. How you doing anyway, Pisces? You alright? So we're going to be doing your March 2022 and see what you may have coming up. I'm hearing May Day coming into landing in May. So again, for two other signs, Jen, Julian, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine, Gen, I'm hearing Glenn, someone also from Scotland, or something about coming into landing in May. I might be travelling in May, I might be coming to see you in May, okay, but it is definitely happening around the energy of May. Unless your name is Colin, Day, or you have like an April or May or a name of a month. Name of the month, okay, something of the month. So there is something like you name a month, and this will be a plan that we have, but what they're saying is that it's going to be May, okay? So it might even be born in May if you're pregnant. If you've got an idea, it'll be happening in May, but something big is going to be happening in May. They have said it through 2 or 3 signs that are predicted for now, Pisces, and it's very prominent in yours. So travel or anything like that in May, okay? It's a plan, it's a date, it's a deal, it's a steal. In fact, you know what, Nick? Fuck it. I think I'll keep it. So it might be a goalkeeper. It might be another keeper. So it might be like a fish, another fish. You could be dealing with another Pisces for a lot of you. Okay, so just very quickly, because I'm not going to channel too much at the moment, because we're just trying to do something different with Steve's multicoloured deck. So let's see, what advice have you got, please, for Pisces through March, or for now basically, but what advice have you got for Pisces? Let's see what they've got. Again, this came out before, man. Why can't we have something different? The not so grey hound. Okay, so you might be dealing with a hound dog, so you could be dealing with an Aquarian or a Leo. An Aquarian or a Leo for a lot of you. The coat of many colours. Jason and Donovan or Kylie or Minogue. But you could be from Australia. Okay. You don't see, this is where Steve needs to get out his eye, unless someone has one eye, and that's good. You don't have to conform, okay? So you are more than just some of your social conditioning. Your age, your birth, name, authenticity, gender, or sexual orientation. Some of you, it could a lot to do with around racism, or colour, or look, or whatever it is that you are, because this is multicoloured energy. So I'm definitely picking up that some of you may be having something to do around racism, and you're getting extremely sick to fucking death of it, and I can well understand. So I'm so sorry if you are going through that, but I am picking up, it's a bit like Mika when I brought it out. You can be green, you can be blue, you can be violet sky, you can be anything you like, Pisces. Okay, so don't let anyone worry about your ethnicity. I can never really say that, okay? Gender or sexual orientation. You are whatever you want to be. Take off the mask and show yourself. Don't be afraid. It's more beautiful life ahead. Okay, so some of you, it might be worrying about how you look. Okay, it might be a personal kind of situation that could be around like weight, okay, or it could be around skin intoxication. It could be about that you're spiritual and stuff. But it could have, like, there could be energies of worrying about, am I going to be good enough? Okay, and is how I look good enough for the other person that may be seeing me through, like, rose-tinted glasses? Okay, some of you might need glasses, like myself, and you're struggling in order to see anything. Okay, but some of you, it's kind of saying that some of you have this mask that you're not revealing to the person, and it might be because you have certain defects about yourself or something that you feel about yourself that you don't want to show the other person, okay? And it might be where you've been told certain things around weight issues or looks or anything like that, that you've been told something for so long that you actually believe it yourself, okay? So there could be a lot of energies here around racism, colour, religion even, but I'm really not picking up on too much about religion, but more about a mask of trying to cover something up, and I can't let you see me in this way, okay? I'm also hearing don't leave me this way, so it might be self-sabotaged energy of like, I don't want you to see me this way and I can't be with you this way yet, meaning that I have work to do on myself, and it's about how I think and believe on myself is a self-reflection of me of where I might not be ready yet. Because I'm definitely hearing the song, Don't Leave Me This Way. Okay, I can't. Okay, so, baby, your world is full of love and it's up for you. Okay, so it might be where I'm not quite ready yet, but it's more about don't leave me this way. Okay, so I don't want to be swayed either way. So it really could be like a 2, like a Libra energy. Okay, and I don't want to be rushed into any kind of decision yet because I have some work to do on myself. Okay. Any other messages there for Pisces? So how do you work on yourself, Pisces? Well, if any of you are unsure, let me kind of give you the way I do it. Okay. So how does Steve constantly remain positive? Because I look at myself as a battery, because I'm a Life Path 7, right? So I look at myself as a battery, okay, of constant energy. If you was a car, for instance, right, and you were a car, and you needed a jump start, right, and you needed a pick-me-up and a jump start. Now, some people use drugs, some people use alcohol, some people use food, some people have an outlet, okay. But how you look at it is that if you was to have like a car and you was to need a jump start, they would put a positive and a negative on their car to a positive and a negative on your car, and then transfer the energy between 2 cars, okay. So when you look at it, your body is a huge way of being able to do work on itself by recharging itself, okay, because it is a north energy and a south energy of your own, okay, so it can recharge itself. Now everybody will tell you that that's obviously food and drink and what you're eating and what you're smoking and stuff. Positivity, people say positive affirmation, right, but it's replacement of one's mind. It's a neuron receptor in your head that can tell you certain things that are either positive and negative throughout our day. The reflection of what we believe is negative is what a neuron receptor will form a habit. So it's like smoking, okay, drinking, eating. It's a habit. It's repetition, okay. So when you have things in place of you that are like, okay, mine is music, okay. When I think of music, it gives me a rush. But Pisces should be really good at manifesting. So not just the fact that it's music, but what do I get from it? Okay, so for instance, it would be, okay, I'm going to buy myself a new VST and that's going to enable me in order to make more music on Ableton. Okay, so what else can I do? Oh, okay, I can't wait to buy this other project because it's going to make me feel really good. Okay, so if you was booking a hotel or something, and in your mind's eye, you need to start thinking more positively about yourself. Okay, so where would you go if it was a holiday, right? What would and research it. If I was to go on holiday or book a hotel, where would I go? Okay, so research it, look it up, see the picture. Okay, when I was there, what would it be like if I was to meet someone? Okay, what would if you are talking to someone, what would it be like? What would they look like? How would it go? Positive stuff. Okay. Then start researching if I wanted a bed, okay, what would the bed look like? What would this look like? What would I get? Okay, how big, how small would it be? And do all of those, okay, and it replaces negativity with positivity. And before you know it, you've stopped thinking negative and you've started thinking positive, and then later on in life, you don't think so negative anymore. So you are recharged with energy of neuron receptors in your brain, okay, that tell you positivity is something that isn't happened yet, but it is if you end up thinking it, because you don't think negatively. Okay. General aspects of how you put work into yourself. Okay. So people say positive affirmation, but it's more visualization of knowing that you want to do something. What would the outcome look like? What would the car look like? What would the interior be? Okay. All those kind of things. They are so important, but it really does take practice. Okay. A lot of practice. And write it down, you know, like giving yourself a question of yes or no, but why? Why? I feel this way. Why? Because someone else, right? But like, why do I feel this way? Get the answer. If that doesn't resolve itself like ebony and ivory, okay, when you play major and minor keys on a keyboard or a guitar, it has to resolve itself to an energy where you hear the build up and then it kind of drops down and it resolves itself into like harmony. Okay, so harmony, harness, Melanie, Mel, Melissa, Maria, Michael, Jackson, Julie, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine. But it replaces itself with an energy that resolves itself. So a question and an answer in your own head has to resolve itself to one where you come to a conclusion of why. Okay, so it resolves itself. So you keep going. I feel this way. Why? Because of blah, blah, blah. Why? I feel something else. Why? Okay, until you get to an answer. Okay. Not another question. Okay, so it would be like if you was texting yourself and you was to talk to someone and they would say, hello, how you getting on? Yeah, good, thanks. What you up to today? Nothing. They're not really showing me any interest. What are you doing the day after tomorrow? Nothing. So when you're looking at yourself, okay, they're the kind of questions that you need to do. You need to put a little question mark next to what it is that you're writing to yourself to find out what the answer is. That's where you find the answers about yourself, about what's going on, okay. You can even do it with other people. I asked this question, they really didn't give me a response, okay. What was the kind of response I was expecting? Okay. Anyway, but that's work. That is that work that you do to put into yourself to find an answer yourself. Okay, that's what gives you the gift. So, let's see. Curiosity about questions that I need to ask myself, not the other person. Okay, Pisces. So the Savage Cabbage. This is Savage Garage. Really could be dealing with like a Life Path 7 or a Cancerian. The Savage Cabbage. Oh, honey, you are a hot fucking mess, Pisces. Some of you are a hot mess, okay? You might be hot, but you could be in a mess because or you could be eaten mess, okay? But like, it could be something that you're eating, could even be your dog's got diarrhea, who knows? Okay, but what I'm picking up is for a lot of you, there's this mask of protection that someone has built up like a wall, okay? And what it's saying to you is that you might feel in a bit of a state at the moment where you need to start doing the education of the mind, okay? But sometimes you need a telling off from the cabbage. What's going on in your life? Again, shit show of a life right now. Question mark. What do you know? There's a question mark. Is it or is it not? Firstly, lunch yourself care protocol. Why the fuck would that say that? Organize, plan, be gentle with yourself, ask for support from yourself. Prioritize changes that need to be put into place to bring joy and peace. Make space for laughter, reignite your passions, and endure love. Okay. Now, if any of you, if that's not being given to you by another person, that's pretty much telling you exactly what I was kind of saying to you. In order to reveal what's behind your own mask of illusion, Pisces, sometimes it takes you, in order to do work, in order to realize that things are changing. You don't change, life changes before your eyes and you get a part of the tower. When a tower happens, it isn't within yourself, it's life that is changing before your eyes and you realize that you need to keep up. Okay, so you will feel as if everything around you is falling apart. That's why you might be a hot mess, because everything is falling apart. Okay, but it isn't. It's not you, it's your consumption of what you think. If you think negatively about yourself, okay, and you believe that you are a hot mess, if your energy of your head is that negative, okay, it takes an aspiration of positivity to realize that you're actually not. So to get that is to feel really good about yourself, to feel energized enough to just do it more efficiently. You just do it without, your brain changes. You start doing things, okay. So when you're savage, that's pretty much where you're Rick, okay. But if you're savage, that's normally where you'll start to blame other people for not treating you the way you want to be treated. Okay, let's see, Pisces, one more card, please. So we've had this one also. Soak up the present moment, okay. Are you derailed of life when you are on the constant not so many go rounds you don't experience? So profound bliss, to be had right here and now. Stop fucking about, Sit your ass down and live in the present moment. Enjoy the rewards of what you have sown. So I'm just taking what says at the end there, Pisces, which relates to what I've already been kind of saying. Sit your ass down a minute. Take a break. Take a breather. Realise where you are. What is so bad in my life that it's basically the end of my life? Okay. What is so bad in life? Okay. So you got to sit down a minute. Take a fucking seat. Sit your ass down and live in the present moment. Okay. The way you do that is by not having much worry. If you worry, you're not living in present tense. You're living in the past. If you always bring up the past, if you have counselling, and counselling is about, okay, we need to go over all of these bad thoughts that you had as a child and in previous relationships where they went wrong. What is it that you're actually going to be telling yourself? That you are no good in a relationship, that you are no good, that you was never wanted, that you was never needed, right, in any way. I never needed anybody's help in any way. So the way you consume the energy of help is by helping yourself, is by doing it yourself, okay? So if people talk to you about past trauma of how bad did you feel when this happened? How bad was that? How bad? You're just constantly repetition of bad thoughts. So it leads to what? Self-sabotage, okay? So you come out sideways because you're thinking bad thoughts. So the only way you do it is by not listening to people that have bad thoughts and feelings where they get you to look at the bad. No, it's not the way you do it. It's looking at the good. It's aspiration of future energy that isn't there. There's no fear in front of you, okay? It's just what you think may be, okay? So positive stuff in your head of adding parts on of like manifesting through, what do you call it? I mean, people say manifesting, but like fantasizing. Fantasy is great energy of Piscean. They're brilliant at fantasizing, okay? You really are, okay? So when you fantasize, you add more onto a fantasy. You live out a story in your head of fantasizing. But just don't attach a person that, if they're shit and moaning and fucking bitching and they don't want you, don't manifest that person, okay? You have to forget the past. This is a person from your past that nothing has ever happened and they've made you feel like a fucking hot mess, okay? Don't manifest that person, okay? Because that's your past energy. You'll just end up thinking, well, what if this happens? What if that happened? I can remember what they said before. You'll just take one step back in your mind, okay? So you have to really start thinking about the future of what it is that of, like, say, music. Take on a hobby. Take on something that you really enjoy, okay, as an aspect of like, man, I can't wait to get home and play my fucking Xbox or PlayStation because I've got this new game and it is fucking brilliant and I can't wait to get home. Don't play it, okay? Get busy doing something else. That goes on to the next day. Man, I am so looking forward to this game that I've been wanting to play for ages. And then before you know it, you're like, man, I can't wait to get home and play that thing. You've forgot about all of the past and you've manifested the future, right? So treat yourself, right? Buy something, treat yourself something, get yourself, your mind into taking on a project, do something different, learn something, a skill that you look forward to, okay? Like playing the keyboard, playing a guitar, you know, look forward to it, okay? So that's your messages from there, Pisces. Okay, so let's see what they've got coming up for March for Pisces, please. For March 2022, for Pisces, what have they got coming up for March 2022? Happy birthday, Pisces, as well again. It will be my birthday in March 2022, March the 8th. But you have a 7. So you could be doing a life path 7, but you're kind of waiting on some kind of resolved energy. We need to resolve this. Can we resolve the past? Lurking jaws, joints of time, to come of age in a dry place, holes and caves. But like, can we resolve the past? Okay. Am I waiting on getting paid? Do I do too much work for everybody else? Am I always kind of like, you see, this is focusing on me. okay? But some of you, you're focusing on what you lost, okay? Some of you, but you could be looking down all the time thinking, what did I lose? Okay, I lost this one piece of info that I need before I go forward. I can't do anything until I find that one piece of the puzzle that I may have lost in the past. Okay, so that can relate to anybody. Okay, but some of you are more than likely focusing on what you may have lost instead of what you've got to gain. If you're focusing on what you have to gain out of this, okay, that's where you're probably on the better side of the energy here, because you could be focusing on money. Okay. Let's see, Pisces, what have they got coming up, please, for March? 7 of Wands. You see, you got 2 sevens. You could be dealing with someone like myself, okay, but very defensive for some of you, or like, okay, we need to start working on things, and we need to start putting up healthy boundaries. Okay, I might need to start looking at my health, right? And I might need to start cutting a lot of things out of my life. Okay. So that can be like, you know, I need to cut down on my workload. Okay, I need to take a break. I need to take a breather. Okay, I need to start to gather my thoughts and realizing, okay, there might be certain things in my life that I need to cut down on. Okay, it could be food consumption, alcohol, drinking, negative thoughts. Okay, I need to start cutting a few things out of my life to make it more easier. I need to make room in my life for this person to be able to be in it. Okay, so it's organizing your life. Okay, making room for someone to be in your life. Okay, that's also cluttered space in your head as well. But you might be looking at someone coming over to visit, okay, and you're needing to make space. Okay, but it's also giving time to yourself here as well. It's not a self-reflection. Pisces, what have I got coming up for March, please? March 22 for Pisces. So you got Virgo. You see, you got a lot of this energy of like, Virgo is more of an energy of like, why are we here? Why is this happening? What's the point of life? So it could be a lot of negative aspirations of thought. Okay, why is this always happening to me? But that is what you need to write. You see, if this reading is coming across as advice, the advice is what you really take from a Pisces, but they're really just the opposite of Virgo. Okay, so the answer to life is found within what? Self-reflection. Okay, so why? Question mark. Why do I feel like I'm always waiting for Prince Charming to come my way? Why? Okay, this is if you're really not talking to anybody at the moment. Okay, why do I always feel so defensive that I won't let anybody near me? Why? I won't let anybody near me because they won't let me near them. Why? Because I've been blocked and they won't let me on their social media. Why? So eventually you'll come to an answer. Well, I suppose what I did was come across quite aggressive. I suppose I actually did cut this person off at the knees and not really give them any time to speak their bit. But I haven't got time in order to speak to you because you annoy me. Why? Because the way you spoke to me and the way that you treat me in life. Why does that person do that? Because they do. Why? Because I'm around them all the time. So is it your mother, your father, your siblings, your daughter, sister? Because they're around me all the time. We're never really getting on. You just turn your back on me all the goddamn time. You never have time for me, do you? You never have time for me. Why is that? Because I'm trying to think about myself. Well, you're selfish. You don't never think of me. You don't consider me. Why is that? Because you're a human. Okay, because you're a human. Because you also have a north placement and a north node, south node. You have an opposition of energy of where you're probably constantly asking yourself, why do you do that? Why do you treat me this way? But have you ever asked yourself that to come to a conclusion of, well, actually, they treat me this way because we're not really compatible. Okay, we're not really compatible. To accept that we're not really cut from the same cloth, right? Of how we believe, what we believe in. Because someone here is constantly trying to find out an answer of what is going on in someone's life that doesn't want a part of it. So this really could be a mother or a daughter or a sister or a sibling. But I'm always trying to find out why the fuck it is that you are so aggressively defensive against me. But there's always an action and a cause of a cause that caused it in the first place, which is normally the other person. So if you've just gone around and around the merry-go-round, constantly just waiting for each other to attack one another, well then basically you just got to come to that conclusion that, well really it's because we just don't get on. We just don't see eye to eye. But normally you get into an argument through this of like, stop keep cutting me off at the knees. Stop keep asking me a question and then being very blunt with the answer. Why is it that every time I come to you and ask you for a question, you don't want to answer? Why does nobody ever take any notice of me? Give someone else the limelight. Okay? Because it might be someone that's requiring too much attention. I'm always trying to find and be a scapegoat, a victim of life of, oh man, I can never seem to find anybody that takes any notice of me. Why? Hello? Nobody takes any notice of me. I'm just here. Never satisfied. Because I'm a 9. So I still can't never seem to get anybody's attention. Why does nobody ever really give me any attention? So this person asked themselves why? Because this person would probably tell you here. Because you're a pain in the arse. Okay. Let's see. Pisces. Pisces, my little fish. Fights against themselves all the time. Let's see. Pisces for March 2022. 4. Oh, what is going on, Pisces? Feel tired. Feel drained. Can't accept things. Grief. Loss. Maybe a funeral. It could be a funeral. It could be Jim Morrison. A funeral pyre. Okay. My love is lifting me lower and lower and lower. And I seem to be chasing things down a rabbit hole. Seem to be going down and down and down. Okay. But it really could be because of a funeral here. Okay. That's 4 weddings and a funeral. Okay. So it can be like, well, what have I got to be happy about? Okay. Let's see. Pisces for March 2022. 3. Could be because of a third party, and it could just well be because of counselling. Like I said, a lot of you here, you could be going to grief counselling. But what does a grief counsellor tell you? To get you to reflect on all of the memories that you actually need to try and forget. But I can't. But this really could be a funeral. This could be a marriage and also a funeral. Okay. Because I was going to say there's a very big religious energy of church here. Okay. Church. Okay. Churchill. Right. So there could be a lot of governmental things going on at the moment around governments. Okay. Raising taxes. Okay. Making bills extremely expensive. Electric, gas, heating. Everything in the UK has gone up a considerable amount of money in rent. Well, rent, if you're paying rent, but like bills, electric, gas, heating, you know, eating even. It's gone up. Everything, all food now has gone up 2-3 times the amount. Okay. Some of you, this is going to church for some reason here. Reese here, Reese or Rihanna, or my Nana, or my grandma, and Anna, and Nan, grandma, well, sibling. Let's see. There's a tombstone energy here that has been coming up around needing it engraved. And what I'm picking up is that tombstone has now actually been engraved. And that someone now is finally be able to put this person to rest with a tombstone here. That the gravesite was actually, was missing a headstone because of the words and stuff that needed to be, because this is also needing to think of words to say at an eulogy. Okay, what do I say when I stand up in court? What do I say when I stand up in church? What do I say? An eulogy. Okay, but to me, this is also coming across as a tombstone of finally being able to put someone to rest, because the tombstone now is the words that were said at church and everything. And if there was a waiting period, it feels like that in March this is now able to be able to finally put this person to rest here. Okay. Let's see, Pisces for March. Pisces for March. Yeah, there's a very slow energy that someone still needs to put work into themselves. This person has this way of more of a Jekyll and Hyde type sort of thing. They keep putting work in, but the work really isn't getting any further. It's because if this ends up being counselling, okay, counselling, this is why I am a counsellor, but my methods are completely different than a normal counsellor that studies from a book, okay, and other people that have ever really needed counselling, okay. Because it's like a drug counsellor would always say to you as well, like, remember where you came from, how bad was it when you came from drugs and everything else, and to keep going to AA and NA, okay, keep reminding yourself that you're an alcoholic, keep reminding yourself that you're a drug addict, when eventually what is in recovery needs to recover. Okay, do you all get that? Whatever it is that you're in recovery, there's also another word that resolves itself of recovered. Recovery, recovered. Okay, so eventually what you need to tell yourself is that you have recovered. So you are no longer in what? Therapy. No longer in therapy. But whilst you remain in therapy, you will constantly tell yourself what? That you haven't recovered. So what will you relive? The past. You will not live out of the present tense. You will not live out the present tense because you're a hot mess. Sorry, Pisces. But some of you could be a hot mess because what you are focusing on is the past and living out of a reflection of recovery, not actually believing within oneself that you have recovered from trauma of the past. Okay. So this can even be what happened to you as a child. Right? But again, it's still past. It's still past energy. It means that I'm not yet prepared to move. I'm not yet letting this go to prepare to move on from the negativity of respect for myself. I haven't got any respect for myself yet. Okay. So I need to still put work in. But people's aspect of work is the wrong way. It's the wrong method. You will believe a therapist because they have studied by a book. They have studied by energies of other people going through the same method. That can also work. But it's, in my way, it takes, like, my way and the highway energies of what I believe as method is a method that can take a fucking lot longer than what a spiritual method can also be. Okay, this could also be a Methodist church. It could also be methadone, heroin, methadone, TF118s, Subutex, but it could be medication, stuff like that. I'm not yet prepared to move on from it yet. Okay. One more card for Pisces, please. For March 2022. Nine of Swords. You see? There's this energy that's accumulating by what you're studying or what you're going through here. If this is church and this is like a funeral, granted. Okay, granted. But like this might be grants, student loans, grants, any grant. I don't want to dance with you, baby, no more. I never knew something could hurt you though. I got the feeling is bad, the feeling is bad. Michael Jackson, Julian, Jason, Justin, Jackie, Jasmine. Right, but I got the feeling is bad. It's going to be bad news. It's going to be bad news. I've got that feeling it's going to be bad. Okay. So if any of you out there that are feeling that this energy could be bad news, I can't really tell you until I go over to Patron. But it could be. It could be. It could be bad news. Because there's this energy of where they're saying bad news at the doorstep. I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried when I read about his widow bride. But something touched me deep inside the day the music died. Okay. So I couldn't take one more step. Okay. The day the music died. The day they died is the day that I give up. Okay. Here. So, but that is true. The day someone dies is the day that your life changes. Okay. Because you give up. Me, for instance, when my father was in my life, okay, he died many years ago now, probably about 13 years ago. When my dad was alive, I strived to do the best I could to make him happy. To make him happy. He was a taskmaster. He was very strict indeed. Okay, but I was a taskmaster of constantly trying to make him happy, doing all the work for him. Felt a disappointment in life because of the strictness. I could never live up to that high expectation. When he'd gone, I actually felt relief that I didn't have to prove myself anymore to be right or wrong. I had myself to look after, okay, and then other family members at the time. But when he'd gone, I didn't feel that pressure anymore. That I could do and be whatever I wanted. My life was my own then. Okay. So you do feel alone. But trust me, you do get stronger. Eventually you do end up coming out of that cloud of realizing, now I have no choice of yes or no. Because now I have to live with whatever is no longer here. Okay. Some of you could really be facing someone that's at loss here. Okay, I'm going to have to leave it at that, Pisces. If you want to join, it'll be both tiers. First tier is like, I really do pick up that someone's going to be crying here. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Pisces. I'm a Pisces myself. But anyway, if you want to join, the first tier is like, yeah, we're doing your monthly. So the first tier is $3, $3, I think, $4, I'm not sure. Very cheap, you get 2 monthlies. If you join the full access bundle, straight after this I'm doing Aries. No, I'm not actually. What we are doing is your karmic number, sorry. So that's where everything goes to the full access bundle. But we're doing your karmic numbers this time. Okay, so say for instance, if you're a life path 4 and a life path 7 and you make a 2, we start off at that 2 number, okay? Can still be a Libra, can still be a life path 2, but the energy of what I'm going to call out is your karmic number of 2 life paths that come together to make a number. And you can pick anybody, okay? Anybody in your life. Pick anybody that you want. Add both life path numbers up and add them together. And we're going to be doing those numbers. If it be a 2, what's 2? If that be a 3, 3. But it won't be a 1, okay? And it won't be a 10 or 11 or you know, or 22. Because if it's 22, it'll be a 4. So watch 4. If it's an 11, watch 2. Okay, do you get it? So make sure you're doing that, and we're going to ask those questions after we've done this. Okay? Okay, guys, thanks very much. You can find all info below for personal readings, for music. It's all free. You can follow Angel Radio if you haven't. Please do. Okay, it's all free. You can find all links provided below for anything that you want, even Patron and a video that explains it all. Okay? Thank you so much, Pisces. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you soon.